Three friends, one rusty bike. It was a recipe for disaster. Max, Leo, and Sam, inseparable since kindergarten, stumbled upon it one sweltering afternoon. Hidden deep within the musty attic of Max's old house, the bike gleamed faintly in the dusty sunlight streaming through a crack in the wall. They felt a strange pull towards it. The bike was old, really old. Its frame was covered in rust. Cobwebs decorated its handlebars. Yet it had a weird appeal, an unexplainable charm. Maybe it was the way the afternoon light glinted off its rusted spokes, or maybe it was something else, something more sinister. Whatever it was, the bike had woven a spell on the three friends. "Wow," Max breathed, his voice echoing in the silent attic. He was the first to break the silence, his hand reaching out to touch the worn leather of the seat. "It's beautiful." Leo and Sam, their eyes wide with a mixture of awe and apprehension, could only nod in agreement. Little did they know that this rusty relic would become a symbol of their undoing, a silent witness to their broken bond. The discovery of the bike marked a turning point in their lives. It was an object out of time, a relic from a bygone era, and its presence seemed to stir something dark and unknown within the attic's shadows. Unbeknownst to the three friends, their innocent find was about to drag them into a vortex of envy, betrayal, and ultimately tragedy. The bike, despite its dilapidated state, quickly became an object of fierce desire among the friends. Each boy saw it as his own, fueling a competition that grew increasingly intense with each passing day. Max, used to getting his way, claimed it as the finder. Leo, fueled by an insatiable desire to prove himself, argued that he deserved it more. Sam, the quietest of the three, simply nurtured a silent longing for the bike. He saw it as an escape, a chance to break free from his shyness and experience the world with the wind in his hair. The once unbreakable bond of friendship began to crack under the strain of their shared desire. Their laughter became laced with an undercurrent of tension, their games tinged with a bitter rivalry. One humid afternoon, the tension finally snapped. The boys, heated and frustrated, found themselves arguing in the shadow of the old oak tree in Max's backyard, their usual meeting spot. Their words, sharp and accusing, hung heavy in the air, shattering the day's peace like shards of broken glass. "It's mine! I found it!" Max yelled, his face flushed. Leo scoffed, his eyes blazing with defiance. "That doesn't mean you get to keep it forever." Sam, caught between his friends, could only watch helplessly as their argument escalated, his heart sinking with a growing sense of dread. He knew with a certainty that chilled him to the bone that this was more than a simple squabble. This was something darker, something that threatened to change everything. Desperate to end the feud, Sam proposed a race. Whoever won, he declared, would get the bike. It seemed like a fair solution, a way to settle their differences and salvage their friendship. Max and Leo, their competitive spirits ignited, readily agreed. They shook hands, sealing their pact with a solemn vow. The race was set for Saturday, a day that dawned bright and clear, the air thick with anticipation. The boys gathered at the edge of town, their faces etched with a mixture of excitement and nervous energy. Sam, however, couldn't shake off a feeling of foreboding that clung to him like a shroud. He wished he had never suggested the race. As the starting signal rang out, Max, driven by a potent mix of desire and guilt, made a decision that would seal their fates. He shoved Leo hard, sending him crashing to the ground. Before either Sam or Leo could react, Max was off, pedaling furiously, his eyes fixed on the finish line. It was a betrayal that would haunt him forever. Sam, torn between the race and his fallen friend, hesitated for a moment before rushing to Leo's side. He could see the hurt and betrayal in Leo's eyes, a reflection of the guilt that gnawed at his own conscience. In that instant, he knew that their friendship had been irrevocably broken, shattered into a million pieces that could never be put back together. Max, blinded by his ambition, raced ahead, the wind screaming in his ears, oblivious to the tragedy unfolding behind him. He was close to the finish line, victory within his grasp, when he heard a blood-curdling scream that pierced through the roar of the wind. It was a scream filled with terror, a sound that would forever echo in his nightmares. Time seemed to grind to a halt as Max turned, his blood turning to ice. A logging truck, its horn blaring, was barreling down the road directly in the path of the finish line. And there, in its path, was Leo, struggling to untangle himself from his fallen bicycle, his eyes wide with terror. Max watched in horror as the truck slammed into Leo, the impact echoing through the still air like a clap of thunder. The world spun, a kaleidoscope of noise and chaos, before fading to black. The image of the accident, a gruesome tableau of twisted metal and shattered dreams, would forever be seared into his memory. The dust settled, revealing the horrific aftermath. Leo lay motionless on the ground, his life brutally extinguished in a matter of seconds. The bike, the object of their desire, lay twisted and broken a few feet away, a silent testament to the tragedy that had unfolded. The air, thick with the stench of gasoline and the bitter tang of regret, was filled with an eerie silence.